Well, welcome into Instant Reaction, brought to you by Sony, alongside former NFL coach Rick Venturi, Colts Ring of Honor member Bill Brooks. I'm just merely Casey Vallier. It has been talked about for months. NFL draft, finally here. The Colts stayed at 14, and they got a player that essentially has been mocked to them for weeks. It seems like Tyler Warren and the Colts had a good connection, and it all came to fruition a little while ago in the first round of the NFL draft. Tyler Warren, I mean, the year he had last year, he is your John Mackey Award winner. He was top 10 in the Heisman voting at the tight end spot. He was kind of the only offensive weapon, if you will, for Penn State. Any building he went into, everybody knew he wanted the football. He was going to get the football, and he produced. So we're going to do a kind of a multi-layered breakdown here. Bill, I'm going to go with you after I talk to Rick. We're going to kind of dive into the fit. But, Rick, you love the NFL draft. You dive into these prospects. You watch the video. Tyler Warren, give us the breakdown on who Tyler Warren is.
Well, first of all, this is number 43 for me. So I hate to even let that out. But, I love the draft. Great night for the Colts, really. Really went well. In my opinion, we got a terrific football player. We got a guy who is definitely a three-down player, okay? Yeah. He can play first down, second down, third down. He is versatile. He can do a million things. He's played quarterback. He could be the fullback. Yeah. He can play on the edge. He can play displaced. We've seen him throw passes, former quarterback. Just a really terrific guy. He's got an alpha personality. You see it on the field. He's a confident, smart guy, a tough guy. I mean, he's a good blocker. You can use him both on the edge. If you wanted to bring in, Billy and I talked about this. Yep. If you want to put him back in the backfield as a fullback, he'll knock the hell out of you. So, and that's a luxury today. You don't have much of that. Most of the tight ends that you have today coming out of college are hybrids. So, he's a guy that he really can find the middle of the field. In one case, he can block the edge, but as a receiver, he can find the middle of the field. Really smart. He separates not so much with speed, but he separates with that big body. I mean, he's like a bully back in there on linebackers and safeties. I mean, he separates, got that huge body, big catching frame, and great hands. And you can throw the ball to him in traffic. He's going to go get it. He's a really good 50-50 guy, deadly in the red zone because he can run it. He can actually go back and run the ball in short yardage, which he has. Plus, he can find those creases. I always said in the red zone, Billy, that really more importantly than speed and quickness in the red zone is body.
The size.
His big body. Yeah. It's putting your body in there. And he's a really good athlete when it comes to body control. I mean, he can make the contorted catch. So there's no doubt in my mind we got a heck of a lot better, and we got a guy now, we talk about the middle of the field, he can do that.
Now, Bill, with that being said, it adds, the Colts re-signed Mo Alley-Cox about a week ago. That adds Tyler Warren to that mix with Drew Ogletree, Will Mallory. There's a handful of other guys. I know we're all kind of – Jelani Woods has missed the last couple of years, but he showed to promise a couple years ago. So when you look at what that tight end room looks like now, how does he really help? I mean, when you get a guy 14th overall, it's going to make your football team better. But diving into just that tight end room, how does Tyler Warren help them?
Well, it's going to help them quite a bit, I think, because you had in that tight end room before Tyler Warren got there, you had guys that could do different things. They kind of specialized in one thing, but they did different things. With Tyler Warren, he can do a little bit of everything. Yeah. As Rick said, he can play in different positions. He can play out wide. He can play in line. You can put him in the slot. You can put him in the backfield. Put him back at quarterback a little bit as well as in the Wildcat. So he can do a lot of different things. So he's going to help that tight end room. It's going to help the offense. It gives Shane another weapon to use, and especially a weapon that can do different things. And so when you have a guy like that, this gives him options to do things. And also, as we talked about the middle of the field, it's one thing that can put a stress on a defense. You want to be able to get the ball to different spots on the field, deep, middle, out wide, backfield. Tyler Warren could do all those things. He can catch the ball in the backfield. He can catch the ball in the middle of the field. So if we can exploit the middle of the field with him, that gives the Colts another weapon, hopefully, to be fruitful during the season.
Now, Rick, I want to ask you a question because we saw Colson Loveland was the first tight end selected. So when you look at, Tyler Warren is the second, what's the difference there? We heard Chris Ballard talk to the media, and it was kind of flavor. You kind of go with which one you like.
What color Chevy you really like.
Right.
It's really two different types of guys. I think both of them will be hugely successful in this league.
Now, one of the biggest things that you're looking for, you've got the quarterback competition with Anthony Richardson, Daniel Jones. Kind of both of you give me your takes on how beneficial this pick is going to be for both of them. You talk about the middle of the field, kind of hitting that security blanket, hitting those layups. That's kind of what a tight end like this guy can do for you.
Well, I mean, it's kind of a two-part deal here. If Daniel Jones is the quarterback, this guy will catch 1,000,000 balls, okay? Because Daniel is a classic move the ball with intermediate passing, okay? He is a really quick release, throw the ball in the creases, get it to your underneath people, okay? This is the part of AR5's game that must come on. AR5 is a great runner, okay? And he throws a really good deep ball. He's accurate with it, throw it off platform. What he lacks is the mid-range game. And this is what we're going to get out of Warren. And so really, when you ask that question, if AR5 continues to be the quarterback, it's going to be all about him taking that next step and finding that mid-range game.
But I think Ty Warren can help him with that because a guy that can get open in the middle of the field and, as Rick said earlier, is a big body.
Yeah.
Even though down the red zone, it helps out a lot, but it helps in the middle of the field as well. Even though him going against some linebackers or whatever, him being able to get open to give the quarterback, whoever the quarterback is, a target to throw to. And if the quarterback can hit that target, you got a guy that can catch the ball. He's caught over 100 balls last season for Penn State, so he can catch the ball, and he's a tough guy. He's going to hold on to the ball. He's going to try to punish some guys that try to tackle him.
And there's pretty good yak with him. You see some splash plays.
Yeah.
There's a splash play where he catches the ball and he hurdles the guy. I mean,
Yeah.
You're talking about a huge man.
Yes.
You're talking about 6'5", 256. I mean, that's unusual to be able to do that. But that's the inline athleticism. I guess he was a great basketball player. They said there were games that he dunked the ball 5 times in basketball. So, no, I mean, seriously.
He's a good athlete.
He's a good athlete. Maybe not a fast athlete, but a good athlete.
We heard from Michael Pitman Jr. earlier this week, and they asked him who he liked in the draft, and he said, well, there's a tight end out of Penn State who had a pretty good game against my Trojans, had over 200 yards in that one, and Chris Ballard alluded to that game. He said, if you wanted any clarification on who to draft, turn on that USC tape, and you won't be disappointed in Tyler Warren. He appears to be he's the newest Colt, if you will, as the Colts selected him 14th overall in the first round. I would say, by all accounts, the Colts did pretty well in round 1.
Oh, I think they did extremely well. I think they've had a really good offseason. They've made about, I think, 5 major moves to get better at different positions, and this is huge. This gives you a whole different entity here, a real positive. Yeah, I think it was a really good first night.
Yeah, the Colts definitely improved their football team tonight by drafting Tyler Warren at the tight end position, a position they want to get better at to help the offense and help the quarterback, whoever the quarterback's going to be this season. So it should be a good camp going into this year and seeing how he does and how he adapts to the National Football League in this offense.
And that'll do it for round 1 for the Colts. And now as it sits, they have a selection in each round moving forward. So that would be 6. We don't know what will happen. It's ever-flowing. We know Chris Ballard likes them picks. So we will see if it is 6 picks we're talking about or if it's more than that. But we will have you covered every night during the draft. So we will have another instant reaction following tomorrow, and then also again on Saturday. Once again, Tyler Warren, selected by the Colts, 14th overall, a tight end out of Penn State, is the newest Colt. And as it sits right now, the Colts will select the 45th next selection, which is 13th in round 2 coming up on Friday night. But for Rick Venturi, Bill Brooks, I am Casey Vallier. Thank you so much for watching Instant Reaction, brought to you by Sony.